The remarkable season began at Dundee. Few commentators rated Hearts' chances of success, having lost Stevie Fulton, Robert Tomaszek and Stefan Adam during the summer. But Gary Wales settled the nerves in 33 minutes when he headed home from close range. However, Dundee fought back, levelling the match in the second half. The result might have disappointed a few fans, but the next match would dispel any doubts about the Gorgie men once and for all.
It's step aside F for festival and enter F for football as the main event in the capital, the first Edinburgh derby of the season. You can keep your Old Firm match and just about everything else for these supporters gathered inside Tynecastle. This is the one that matters.
It was the derby debut for Jean-Louis Valois and Marc de Vries. For the big Dutchman, it was to be a day he would never forget.
Goes de Vries, in goes Andy Kirk! Kirk scores the opening goal! 18 minutes of the Edinburgh derby gone. And that was top chance taking.
I like playing alongside a big guy. It allows me to go and do things which I'm better at in the game. He takes a lot of pressure off me, he holds the ball up and he lets me get on with the things that I'm good at. So I think the two of us hit it off pretty quickly.
And you have to admire a great bit of finishing from Kirk. De Vries succeeded in putting off Smith. Kirk was lost by the Hibs defence and Tony Craig was a beaten man.
I would have taken a scrappy game and a 1-0 victory for us to score 5 goals and to play extremely well and to score different types of goals and of course for both Jean-Louis Valois and Marc de Vries, who were making their derby debuts, to have such influential parts to play obviously endeared them to the supporters as well, which helped in them settling in.
They have to settle for one at the moment. Jean-Louis Valois looking to create number 2. He's very elusive, difficult to tie down. Here's a chance for Marc de Vries. Is it 2? It certainly is. A dream debut for Marc de Vries. His first goal for Hearts. His first start for Hearts. And they're 2-0 up in the derby. The Hearts fans are excited about what they see from Valois. And they're certainly excited about this finish from the Dutchman de Vries. And there was power and venom in that shot. You can't start your Hearts career much better than this.
For most players, that would be true, but Marc was about to produce one of the greatest derby debuts in the club's history.
19.5 minutes gone in the second half. Hearts 2, Hibs 1. Delicately poised. There's de Vries. There's Valois. Saved by Craig and de Vries! He scored a second. It's dreamland for the Dutchman. 3-1 Hearts. Ian Murray trying to force the ball in. It was deflected away. There's McKenna. And now Severin. McMullen. For de Vries, good touch. Could it be the hat-trick for Marc de Vries? It could, you know. Derby debuts don't come any better than this. And what a finish to complete your hat-trick. All the composure in the world.
It's a marvellous finish from the big fella. Great play from young McMullen down the left-hand side, lifting his head, and great delivery into the box. Great composure again, managing to take it beyond the defender and just chip it over Tony Kay, giving him no chance whatsoever. What a magnificent hat-trick in his first derby game in Edinburgh.
Unbelievably, Marc wasn't fully match fit and was feeling the effects of his performance, and at one stage thought he might be substituted.
During the game, well, I felt the pain and I felt the tiredness. And at one stage, I thought the gaffer was going to take me off. You know, you feel the tiredness and you feel the pain, but you just bite it. Yeah. Because this is such an important game. You know, you have to win this one for the fans.
Smith holds the ball away, but Gary Wales onto it. Is there to be number 5 for De Vries? It's unbelievable! The freedom of Edinburgh awaits Mark De Vries, or half of it anyway. His first Edinburgh derby and 4 goals out of a 5-1 victory.
It's marvellous play from Gary Wales. He's chased a lost cause there. What a magnificent ball in, and that man, De Vries, is there again. It's a clinical header, it's an intelligent header across the goalkeeper, giving him absolutely no chance, catched him wrong-footed. But Gary Wales managing to lift his head again. That's a great header, marvellous finish.
He's scored with his feet, he's scored with his head. 4 goals for Mark De Vries, as Hearts run riot in the Edinburgh derby, the first of the season. He's gets a special hug from the head coach.
Edinburgh Derby is a fantastic occasion. You know, there is definitely a fierce rivalry here in the city. In terms of winning them, it's a fantastic feeling, and you know, the whole club takes a massive lift from that. And I think the early 5-1 victory in the season definitely gave a lot of belief to the team, and that has been reflected in the results ever since.
The result against Hibs just really took us further, you know, than we probably were at, you know, and we went along on the high of that 5-1 for a long time, you know, and the confidence was way beyond where it should be probably, and we're just thought, well, if they score, whoever, you know, we're playing, we'll just score more, you know, and I think that took us a long way.
Here's Maybury down the right-hand side. Chance to get the ball into the box. It's a deep one to the back post. Header back across goal. De Vries scoring for that one. It's cleared away to Severin. Back in and again cleared. It breaks for De Vries. Shot goal into the net from 8 yards. Mark De Vries. Cleared away by the Dunfermline defence. Here's Valois, the Frenchman, looking to create a bit of magic. Does so, gets round Jason Dare. That's good skill as well. Into the box, chance for Valois. Cross to the back post. Up goes Weir into the net. Graham Weir, smallest man on the park, scores for Hearts. Good skill again from Valois. Releases McMullen down the left-hand side. That's good play from McMullen. Gets by his man. Chance to get the ball in. Bit of time here for McMullen. It's a deep one to the back post. Up goes De Vries into the net. 2-0. Mark De Vries. Valois into the area, headed away by the Dunfermline defence. It's McMullen from long range. That looks like it is! What a strike, Paul McMullen!
It had been a strong start to the season, Hearts scoring 10 goals in 5 matches. The new squad was already a team who played for each other. Those performances proved that despite losing important players pre-season, Craig Levein had rebuilt the side into a determined fighting unit.
I was determined not to be demoralised by any of the financial problems that the club have got. There was a chance that we'd lose players, and probably lose players that we'd like to have kept. And so this was the case, but no, I wasn't overly concerned, because one thing I've realised in football is you should never covet players too much, because the way things work out, you don't always get them. And I've got a fairly open mind about if I don't get a certain player, then there's always another one comes along, just like buses.
It's a new team. There's a new team spirit which has had to be built. In Finland we went there, we only won 1 game out of 3, but I could see that the players were bonding together as a team. And you always think that at pre-season games, it doesn't matter what the result is, because at the end of the day is we want them to learn to know one another and learn and like each other. And that's certainly what's happened in Finland, and it's carried on. We've had a decent start to the season. The players off the park go for meals and maybe drinks together, and that's important, that you have a dressing room that's united. And I think Craig's to take a lot of credit for that as well, that the gaffers got them a good squad here, and we work hand in hand with one another.
That unity was invaluable throughout the season. In their first visit to Ibrox, Hearts lost 2-0, but their next match would epitomise the will to win and sheer determination of the Tynecastle men. Motherwell had just beaten Celtic 2-1 at Fir Park, and initially it looked as if Hearts would suffer the same fates.
It's the players that are on the park. They feed off each other. You know, you look to your left and you see somebody still trying, and you look to your right and there's somebody still trying, so you still try. You know, and as soon as you get guys in your team whose heads go down and their body language tells you that they've given up, then that can be something that spreads throughout the team fairly quickly. So the more guys in your team who believe and just keep going, even when things are against them, the amount of those that you've got, then the better, or the more chance you will have of overcoming adversities.
We lost 2 quick goals against Motherwell, but at no time on the sidelines, Craig and I talking about it, did we think we were going to lose the match. And especially De Vries got a goal back, and then in the second half I just thought we were only going one team. I think we steamrolled Motherwell into submission that day and quickly got a couple of goals, and I thought we were magnificent that day. But at no time did the players even at half time think we were going to lose the match, and it's a wee self-belief that the players have had a lot this season, and they've done great.
Motherwell 2-1 up. The Hearts threatening with McMullen. Useful ball in. It's 2-2. Andy Kirk. From 2-0 down, they've squared the game. First De Vries, then Kirk, his second goal of the season.
I think there's been a load of games actually we've been behind, and we've come back and got ourselves level and got in front and won the games. And I mean, that just shows you the character of the players in the squad. The manager and Peter, they never let us think we're beat, and I think that's a great thing to have in the changing room.
Valois with the corner kick. McKenna! Another brilliant stop by Woods, back in from Kirk. And away by Corrigan this time. One back by Maybury. Valois, just wide. Jean-Louis Valois having a look. Scott Severn. And bags of room for Alan Maybury to float this into the box. Adams was there, but it falls for Valois. Here's a chance. Stephen Boyack. 3-2 Hearts. The comeback is complete. And here's an opportunity for another goal. It's Andy Kirk. It's 4-2. Kirk's second, Hearts fourth. This really is a remarkable recovery.
Performances like that showed the confidence Hearts now had, despite having lost another key player in August when fans' favourite Antti Niemi was sold to Southampton for £2 million.
Here's a chance for Hips. Saved by Niemi.
You don't like losing your best players, nobody does. But I think you have to be realistic. You have to people will move on for one reason or another. The important thing was that we didn't let it have a negative effect on the players. Roddy McKenzie came into the team at that time and performed very well. It's not easy thing to do to step into the shoes of somebody who was a great hero.
Onside, Ronald de Boer. Having a look at what's on. And Avanladze with a brilliant shot. And a terrific save from Roddy McKenzie.
Meanwhile, up front, the two new signings, De Vries and Valois, continued to terrify defences.
Chance for De Vries, he's missed it again. Chance for Valois, he scores! Jean-Louis Valois, clinical, his first goal for Hearts. And it goes to the back stick. Up goes De Vries with a shot. De Vries with the goal. The referee, his assistant, has given it. Mark De Vries back across goal. Hearts go 2-0 up. It's going to be Valois. Runs up and shoots. Oh, what a goal! Valois! He's done it again from the free kick. 35 yards out. Keeper didn't move. Valois, 3 goals, 3 games. It's Thistle 1, Hearts 1. And it goes from Valois. The header! Yes, 2-2. Gary Mackay, continue the motion, please. Scott Severn with the equaliser. Good ball through to Phil Stamp. This is a chance for Hearts. Stamp with a shot. What a goal that is! Phil Stamp with a wonder strike. Bends it into the corner of the net. What an equaliser for Hearts.
But the spirit in the dressing room is fantastic. There's a lot of young lads here. I think apart from Liverpool, when Stefan goes, I think I'm the second oldest, 27. So there's a lot of young lads here, and they all want to play for each other, which is very good. And we've come back a number of times this season from being 1 and 2 goals down, which shows you the spirit.
People like Phil Stamp, who've arrived from Middlesbrough, I believe is as talented as any other player that we've got in this football team. He's played in some big games down in England. We were a big club, and it's like starting over again, trying to build a career and get back up the ladder to the top level. And he's been a hugely influential player for this season. All these things can help, and all these things are blended together to bring this determination and willingness to keep working and belief. There is not one thing or one player that I can put my finger on and say that is the reason why.
Hearts had lost only 1 game in 10 matches, and that was at Ibrox. In October, they met the champions, losing 4-1. Media pundits had criticised the Tynecastle side for sitting back and defending when they met the Old Firm, but no one at the club would agree with those views.
We certainly have never approached an Old Firm game with a thought of defending, you know, but sometimes when you go to Celtic Park and Ibrox and you give the ball away cheaply like we did on a few occasions, you're put on the back foot, and when Celtic and Rangers have a lot of the ball, you know, you do find yourself defending, and on a few occasions in the past seasons we have found that.
Well, people assume that all you need to do is tell your players, right, we're going to Ibrox, or we're going to Celtic Park today, we're going to play 4 at the back and 3 in midfield and 3 up front. And you 3 strikers, you just stay up the park there, don't you worry about defending. And you midfield players, don't you worry about defending as well, you just stay up the park and try and create goals. Well, you get hammered. Then the other thing that happens, of course, is that you send your team out to keep it tight, and Celtic start pushing at you, or Rangers start pushing at you, and before you know it, you're back at the edge of your own box and you're defending for 90 minutes. So players have to experience things, and they have to understand that to get anything from the game, they have to believe in themselves. And me telling them to believe in themselves, I could talk to them blue in the face. They have to experience it, and they have to see the evidence.
The learning experience goes on for the teenager. Valois' free kick. Gary Wales pulls a goal back for Hearts.
Another league defeat at home, this time losing 2-1 to Dundee, wasn't the best preparation for the second derby of the season. With home advantage, Hibs were determined to avenge their 5-1 mauling, and without Mark de Vries, few would put money on a Hearts victory. But again, the Gorgie men showed what their rejuvenated side was all about.
They've won their last 5 straight wins in the Premier League. And from the early stages, when they were bottom of the league and looking like early season contenders for relegation, now they're up into 4th spot. And things suddenly look a whole lot brighter on Leith. Valois' pass is a good one for McMullen. That could work out. Phil Stamp, what a chance. McKenna to Kirk. Good challenge from Gary Smith. As Kirk tried to loft the ball in.
With the build up to the game, we knew it was going to be a battle. It was a their ground, and we knew we had to go and match their work rate and their aggression. And obviously, if we matched that and we could get the ball down and play it, we knew we could win the game.
Hibs trying to keep the pressure on, and that's useful. It's more than useful. Hibs have the leads.
It looked as if Hibs were going to emerge victorious. Despite heavy pressure from Hearts, the home side was still leading with only 5 minutes to go. But Craig Levein decided to keep the pressure on right to the final whistle.
I didn't start out at the start of the game to try and be 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go and had this great plan about you know, coming back and stealing it at the death. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to win 5-1 again. You know? But I found myself in having a little bit of experience of playing football and having coached for a little while now and managed for a little while, to read the subtleties in a game, you know, to feel who's in the ascendancy. And as the game wore on, we weren't doing particularly well. We had nothing to lose by going to make a few changes late on, putting Kevin up front and bringing Yanni on.
Janicic. For McKenna. It's the equaliser. With 4 minutes left. Kevin McKenna pushed from defence to attack, and he squares the game set up by the teenager Neil Janicic.
It's a great ball from Janicic. McKenna, magnificent run, peeling off his marker, getting to the back post, and it's a great header across the goalkeeper, giving Conan absolutely no chance whatsoever.
For most managers, that would have been enough. A draw at Easter Road in the dying minutes. But Craig Levein wouldn't settle for just a point.
I asked the gaffer if he wanted us to revert back to the 5-3-2 we'd played prior to the goal, and he said no. They wanted us to go to the win, so we went almost a 2-4-4 formation, and in the end we got the right result.
Maybury, Janicic, Stamp, that's Graham Weir, Janicic again, and Phil Stamp wins the Edinburgh Derby for Hearts. A brilliant move involving two of the Hearts teenagers, and Phil Stamp's second goal for Hearts is going to make it 2 out of 2 in the Edinburgh Derby for Hearts this season.
He's the hero.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, you see it with Rangers and Celtic, how passionate they are. It's exactly the same with Hearts and Hibs, and I didn't realise until, obviously, I played in the 2-1 victory. Up until the last 5 minutes, I don't think anyone in the stadium would have thought that we were going to win. The manager put Kevin up front, and he managed to score, and then all kind of goes to the manager. And most managers would have said, well, it would take a point for me, but he just told us to keep pushing forward. And I just got a lucky break, really, and obviously put the ball in the back net, last kick of the game. So it was obviously being first derby, it was fantastic.
And what a dramatic ending to the second Edinburgh Derby of the season. Hearts celebrate, it's 2 out of 2 for them.
You know, I felt that Hibs were on the back foot because we'd scored, that we'd hold on for so long. I felt it was if we just had the belief to keep going, that we'd get it. And I looked at our players, and they, you know, they sensed. So it was easy for me. You know, I felt it was the right thing to do, and you know, I might have got egg on my face.
For many supporters, that was the turning point in the season, when Hearts showed they were capable of digging into their physical and mental reserves to achieve victory. But the rigours of the campaign were already taking their toll. Only 12 players were declared fit for the next match, with Kirk out and De Vries still injured. Against third-place Dunfermline, worse was to come when Phil Stamp limped off with a calf injury. And despite this great strike from Scott Severin, Hearts lost 3-1. However, Mark De Vries had his first start in 3 weeks against Kilmarnock and soon made his presence felt.
Bit of space for Presley. That's a great long ball. Finds De Vries, right-hand side, edge of the area, up against Freddie Dandelou. De Vries into the area, goes for the shot. Oh, it's sent, it's got by Gordon Marshall. De Vries again. Hearts go 1-0 up. Mistake from the keeper.
By now, Mark was a firm favourite with the Hearts supporters, especially after his Demolition Derby debut. One of the reasons for his rapid success was the reception he received from his new teammates when he arrived from Dordrecht in Holland.
From the day I came to Hearts, everybody has been trying to make it easy for me. Everybody is willing to help you, and which is a great thing. You know, and I think that's why we are a real team, and we can only get better.
Because there's nothing worse than maybe coming in from a foreign country and nobody speaking to you. Elvis takes them under the wing right away, like he did with Mark De Vries, like he did with Jean-Louis Valois. Elvis goes and chats with them, invites him into his company, and that's very, very important, because yes, I can do it and Craig can do it as a management, but when he gets in amongst the players, he has to feel part of it. And one thing, a big strength off the park that Elvis has got, is he encourages the players who come in to feel part of it, and he does a good job for us there.
That team spirit allowed Mark to settle quickly into his game, imposing his presence on opposition defenders. But although he's thought of primarily as a goal scorer, he wasn't bought for that purpose alone.
We didn't buy him as a goal scorer. We watched him in Holland, both Craig and myself, at different times. We always felt that we needed a target man up there, where Wales and Kirk are a bit similar. We needed something different, something that when we put the ball up from back to front, it would stick.
I think they've had an enormous influence, to be honest. I think we've been needing somebody, a big presence up front for a while, and with Big Mark's provided that for us, and he's brought along a few goals as well.
Severin for De Vries, good touch, good control, holding it up, waiting for the run from McFarlane, and that's better. That's what Hearts want Mark De Vries to do.
Yeah, he's been a massive player for us, and when he first came, he was taking people on and he was holding the ball up well and doing really well. And then he's had a lot of injuries, which has maybe held him back. But he says that I think his best return of goals is 16 in a season, which was last season. So it's a step up for him, he said when he came here as well. So him to score 14 goals is a tremendous achievement as well. But he gives us that something different where we can play it up to him and know he's going to hold on to it, and it lets us get up and play the game in other people's half. And I think, as I say, 4 goals in his first game as well probably took him further than he knew he was going to go as well.
Mark puts much of his success in his first season down to the management of Craig Levein, who encouraged him at every opportunity.
He's somebody who knows what he's talking about. He just hands you out a couple of things, and he lets you think about football, and that's what brings the best out of players. He just hands you a couple of possibilities, and what you should do in a situation, what you shouldn't do in a situation. He tells you what he would do or what he thinks. So you get multiple views on the situation, and it's up to you what you do with it. And I think that's a real good thing.
Before the start of the season, few supporters would have heard the name Mark De Vries, but the free transfer from Holland has already become a Hearts hero.
For Scott Severin with a shot. It's on target. De Vries into the area. 1-1. Mark De Vries, 5 goals in 2 games. It's Aberdeen 1, Hearts 1. The Jumbo's right back in it. That's second it goes. De Vries header. Whoa, he's got it in. Good header, Mark De Vries. 2-1. Game on at Tynecastle. Gary Wales into the area. De Vries. No, surely not. De Vries into the area. Stops it down. 4 goals for Mark De Vries. This is incredible. Mark De Vries gets 4 goals.
Every football fan knows that there is no such thing as a perfect season, and in December, Hearts had a low point when they lost 4-0 to Rangers at home, then without Presley, Stamp and Maybury, lost 6-1 at Motherwell.
I learned something about coaching and about management. When, how many players are enough to put on, how many young players can you ask making their debuts to perform at a level above what they're used to. So, I learned from that, and the good thing is that the players themselves saw it as exactly what it was, a blip, and we responded and came back from that.
Picked up by Valwa, hand side. De Vries has come short, plays it off for Scott Severin. That's a good through ball, mistake by Rubio. Here's Andy Kirk, just brought her to beat, goes round him, and into the net. Andy Kirk, Hearts go 1 up. McFarlane, what can he do against Kino? Turns his man, good through ball to Valwa, plays it off. Chip ball through by Jančić. Again, the Livingston defence caught the wrong side of De Vries, gets by, Rubio goes down, has to be a penalty, and is given by referee John Underhill. De Vries against Rubio, got the wrong side, and Rubio's arms all over De Vries. That's a penalty. It's Andy Kirk from 12 yards. This could wrap up the points for Hearts. Kirk against Brotto. Easily done. Hearts go 2-1 up. Andy Kirk. Grotto goes the wrong way. Kirk puts it into the top corner. Hearts 2, Livingston 1. McFarlane nods it down to De Vries. Good turn. Decent strike. Good save by the Partick Thistle keeper. And it goes, and McKenzie stays a header, and it's off the line by Scott Severin. Back in, and great save, McKenzie on the goal line. Jerry Britton with a header, and saved by McKenzie. Rolls it out to Boyack. Time running out for Hearts. Lays it off just over halfway. Maybury, right-hand side. Ball in field to McFarlane. Back to Boyack. Can Hearts get the breakthrough? Break of the ball to De Vries. Into the end. Maybury! Oh, what a strike! Alan Maybury, right to the death. Points wrapped up. Hearts 1, Partick 0.
There are some good, strong characters in the dressing room. Likes Alan Maybury, who has, I think, improved no end this season. He shows a great commitment and desire and willingness to buy into what we're trying to do. And he's been, for me, a huge plus since he arrived at the club.
De Boer and McCann, and Alan Maybury defended that very well. He got his body in front of McCann. Danger over. A long raking pass for Shota Arveladze. And again, Maybury getting tight to McCann, making it very, very difficult for the Scotland winger, and he's played his way cleverly out of a tight situation there. Well, I think when you send out Alan Maybury before the match, you don't really have to tell him to be aggressive. It comes fairly naturally to him.
I hate losing at everything. It doesn't matter what it is, game of cards or 5-a-sides. You know, it's the ball's there to be won, then it's there to be won, without being stupid. But I try not to overstep the mark. As I say, when I have, it's just kind of frustration or something like that. I'm trying to calm it down though.
It was that level of commitment shown by every member of the team that drove Hearts towards their goal of a place in Europe. With Stephen Presley back in the side, they went on to prove their worth against Dundee United.
Free kick for Hearts. Dundee United dugout not too happy with that one. Taken by Maybury, it's a long one. Up gets De Vries, long way out. It's in, 1-0. Mark De Vries high above the Dundee United defence. Great delivery, Alan Maybury. De Vries, a lot of work to be done, but a great looping header into the net. Here's Maybury with a layoff to Stephen Boyack. Infield to Neil McFarlane. Perhaps a chance for Maybury to get this ball into the area. Maybury, layoff, good touch, Valois, De Vries. Chance for Kirk, must be 2-0. Andy Kirk from only 4 yards out. A simple task, great build-up from Alan Maybury. Neat pass into Valois, in behind the United defence. Good touch from De Vries and into the net from Andy Kirk. De Vries gets away from his marker, Jim Laughlin. Chance for Boyack, goes for the shot, good save, Paul Gallagher. Here's Charlie Miller. Lilly with a header, good save, Roddy McKenzie. Hearts defence asleep. Great ball in, Charlie Miller. Derek Lilly unmarked. Roddy McKenzie, though, he was alert. Clearance away. Here's Valois. Left-hand side, great skill. Chance for Hearts again. Great ball in behind the United defences. Boyack. Cut back. Kirk must be 3-0. Andy Kirk. Great ball in from Stephen Boyack. Great skill in the midfield from Jean-Louis Valois to set up the attack in the first place. A ball in behind the United defence. Boyack with a cut back, and Andy Kirk with a simple task rolls it home 3-0.
Next came the clash with the current champions at Celtic Park. Such a fixture is never easy, but right from the start, Hearts were determined to show that they were up for a fight.
Good play from Hearts. Here's McCann. And Valois. Good pass from Jean-Louis Valois to release Stephen Boyack. Curling it in. There's Mark De Vries! And Hearts have opened the scoring after only 3 minutes. It was a good ball initially from Valois to find Boyack in space, and the flighted cross was knocked in there by Mark De Vries for his 11th goal of the season. Terrific leap there between two defenders. He's defending well so far. There's Thompson. Into the back post for Balde. And turned away superbly by Roddy McKenzie. De Vries, good pass to find Mabry. Chip infield, De Vries can't get there. It breaks to Valois. Deflected off the back of Agat. Anywhere will do at the moment. And a great save by Hedman. There's Presley. Boyack. It's Valois, now Boyack, now for Mark De Vries. And that's the equaliser. 66 minutes gone. And Mark De Vries, given the only other opportunity he's had in this game, and he's taken it.
I've seen a gradual improvement, and every time we played the Old Firm, we've always been able to take a positive out of the game. Whether it be a player improving his performance, or whether it be us improving our performance as a team. We're getting closer and closer and closer.
A well-won victory over Dundee at Dens made sure that Hearts ended 2002 in third place. It was the ideal result before the January battle against Hibs.
Valois had been right over on this near side, so Boyack's outswinger, and the header from Severin into the net! How did it get through? Goal for Hearts! Severin with the header!
There's no denying it, that derby matches are special. For the fans it means everything, and the players know what's expected of them.
They're good games to play in, and I played in a couple of last season maybe where I didn't quite grasp it. But you do have to go in, just kind of make sure you're ready for the battle to start with, and you don't get much time on the ball. They're fast, the tackle is fine in, and maybe sometimes maybe for the first hour, it's just you're just making sure you're winning tackles, and you play the game in their half and things, and try and keep the mistakes to a minimum.
The atmosphere, the pressure, the expectation, tackling, and all these things seem to increase. And you have to be able to handle it. You have to be able to perform at that level when the intensity's turned up a notch.
It's hard to describe, but for the whole week you're getting yourself ready for the game. Just when the whistle goes, you don't feel pain, you don't feel tiredness. Just go and go. Just a little extra to go for 91 minutes, you know what I mean?
Through ball. McKenna leaves it, perhaps fouled. Into the area, bad back header. Townsley must be! Oh, what a mistake in the Hearts defence. Derek Townsley after just 11 minutes. Free kick swung in by James. Header McManus! And off the post. Hibs go 2-0 up at Tynecastle. Severin through ball. Chance for Andy Kirk. He's onside. Ryan Cogan goes down. Must be a penalty. And Des. Referee Stuart Dougal books Nick Cogan. Should he have been sent off? Kirk round the keeper, brought down. Surely the last man, but only yellow carded. Presley from 12 yards, 2-1. Hearts right back in this one.
The players at half-time felt aggrieved, and they were angry that things had conspired against them in the first half. And from a coach's point of view, that makes my job easy at half-time. All I have to do is pour a little lighter fuel on that and see what happens.
James goes for the tackle. Breaks for Hearts. It's Valois through ball. That's a great touch by Kirk. De Vries round the keeper and into the net. Hearts equalise. Hearts 2, Hibs 2. De Vries again on target against Hibs at Tynecastle. Out came Cogan. De Vries rolls it into the net for 2-all.
And we go back into the game with 2 good goals, and at 2 each, I could only see us winning the game. And you know, so much for me being able to read the signals in the game.
Just a minute left. Jarkovic with a corner. It's a high one. Heads go up. Fennick knocks it down. Craig James! Oh, it's 3-2 last minute! Hibs score! Craig James! Patalainen from 12 yards. This surely must wrap it up. Patalainen saved! Bradner 4-2! Hibs!
I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing to be 4-2 down, and I was stunned more than anything, because again we were doing okay, we were playing well, we were the better team, and you know, I've got a huge amount of faith in these players, but to be honest, they surprised me that day.
Here's Mahi. Tries the cross, deflects. the Hibs player. Severin goes in. It's played back by a Hibs defender. De Vries getting in there, causing mayhem. In goes Weir. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute, we've got a minute left. 4-3. Up went De Vries. Headed it on. In went Graham Weir. And into the net. 4-3. Hibs kick off. Surely there can't be long left now. Referee looks at his watch. Stuart Dougal. Zambernardi plays it forward. Hatalainen into Presley. That's a free kick. Dangerous play by the big Finn. And Mackenzie will have to take this one quickly. Places it down. Literally seconds left at Tynecastle. Can Hearts get the most unlikely equaliser? Mackenzie. Long ball forward. Up goes De Vries. Against Zambernardi. De Vries to the byline. Cuts it back. It's Weir! Oh, 4-4! This is unbelievable! 4-4 in the Edinburgh Derby!
Yeah, it's great. It's a funny thing because I come off the last 10 minutes and it was 2 each at the time. It looked like the game was dead, and they go 4-2 up, and you're really sitting and you're down in the dumps really on the bench, and then all of a sudden, like minute, 2 minutes later, you're jumping up in the air, and it was a strange feeling, but it was great not to get beat, especially not to get beat at home, and it just shows you again the character of the squad to come back from it.
It really didn't sink in. Everyone was just sitting there. Normally it'd be, delighted with the result, but we're just kind of sitting there, kind of not sure what really happened.
To be honest with you, before I went on, the goalkeeping coach, Peter Latchford, he said to me, "You've got to go in and score 2 here." And it just went in one ear and went out the other, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" But to go in and score 2 in a derby is unbelievable. It's the best feeling ever.
I think there was 4 goals scored in the last 4 minutes of the game. Hibs scoring 2 late on, and I think they thought they'd got the victory. But again, that never say die attitude came through with Graham Weir scoring 2 late goals, and it really was a fantastic game of football. The derbies this season have all been excellent games of football, and certainly from our supporters' point of view, the results have gone the right way.
So I couldn't stand it, but my 2 sons stayed behind. And I came out of the game, and somebody cheered, and they went, no, 4, the 4th one went in. I walked another 50 yards or so, another roar. I thought, oh, please don't let it be 5. I got to the end of the road there, another roar. I went, oh, no 6. I came into this pub, and they're all dancing and shouting and cheering. It's 4-4. I went, right. You better believe it, it was unbelievable.
Well, unlike my father, I stayed. I was delighted to stay. Very rarely do I ever leave a game. I said, I hate missing any minutes of a game, and the derby games this season have just been so brilliant. Words fail me in this moment.
I think when the Hibs on, we need to play the last couple of minutes. The 3 derby games have just got better and better. Each game so better than the previous one, and I thought actually the 4-4 game was probably the pinnacle. And once again we've proved we're the best team in Edinburgh by far.
After the winter break, Hearts powered on in the league, scoring 7 times in 3 games without conceding a single goal. February brought Dunfermline to Tynecastle. They were desperate to claim Hearts' 3rd spot in the league, but even with the injured Mark De Vries and Andy Kirk on the bench, the Maroon goal machine just kept on scoring.
Going Hearts far side, taking shot for Jean-Louis Valois, left foot. That's a decent ball in behind the defence, Severin, 1-0! Scott Severin in behind the Dunfermline defence, great ball, Valois, and a diving header from 6 yards. Long through ball, flick on by McKenna. Chance for Gary Wales, gets round his man, round the keeper, and into the net, slots it home from 16 yards, Gary Wales, great play from McKenna, with the flick on and Wales into the net. Hearts going for a 3rd here, Stamp, long range, oh what a strike off the bar, and cleared away. Good layoff by McKenna, and Stamp, acrobatic effort, keeper beaten. Chance for Hearts again, it's Phil Stamp, far side, ball in, cleared away, ricochet of Wales, McKenna! 3-0, game, set, and match. Good ball in by Phil Stamp, clearance away, Wales with a ricochet, and in from Kevin McKenna.
The following Saturday, Hearts were again facing a challenge for third place, this time from Kilmarnock. But at home, the Tynecastle side were proving to be invincible.
Maybury scored from a similar distance against Partick. Oh, he scored again! 1-0 Hearts. Alan Maybury did it against Partick in December. He's done it again today. 30 yards out, takes a touch and rifles it home. Here's Phil Stamp with Gary Wales in support. Stamp goes himself. Still Phil Stamp. Oh, he's brought down. Shields already been booked. It's trouble for Greg Shields. Referee has sent him off. Second bookable offence. And Kilmarnock down to 10 men. Valwa with a free kick. Deflects off the Kilmarnock wall. Partially cleared. Here's Phil Stamp. That's a deep one. Out comes Meldrum. He's flapped at it. It's De Vries. Back to goal. Can he put the finishing touches? Yes, he can. 2-0. Mark De Vries. Great finish from the big Dutchman. Valwa, the layoff to Boyack. Looks for options. That's a good ball into the area. McKenna. Oh, it's 3-0. Great finish from the big man, Kevin McKenna. Hearts go 3-0 up and wrap up all 3 points. Good ball in. McKenna in behind the Kelly defence and into the net.
Such performances proved that by making changes over the years, Craig Levein had produced a strong fighting side with an unshakable will to win. But he rejected any suggestion that previous squads had not been his team.
I think it's always your team. The easiest thing in the world to say, oh, these are not my players. They are your players. You're the coach, they're the players that are playing at the football club, they are your players. I've changed things round as I felt appropriate to try and improve. If I thought the players that I inherited when I first arrived were perfect for my system and perfect for what I wanted to do, then I might not have made as many changes. But I feel if we've gone down a certain path, that path hopefully leads us to continual improvement.
Back on the pitch, Hearts narrowly lost 1-0 to Rangers at Ibrox before they met Motherwell at home. The Gorgie men were determined to show that the December defeat really was a one-off.
Too many passes going astray. Severin. Wales inside for McKenna. Left foot driven in. Oh, yes! Well, he showed all the instincts of a striker there. A glorious finish by Kevin McKenna.
Moylan. Long clearance downfield. Hearts looking to try and create an opportunity. Here's Phil Stamp driving into the box. Cuts the ball across and Simmons is there to put the ball into the back of the Motherwell net. Martin Corrigan looks disconsolate, but Simmons takes the credit and Hearts are in front again.
Each time the team sheets were handed out at Livingston, the Lions must have dreaded seeing one name, Phil Stamp. And in their last meeting of the season, they were right to be worried.
Ball into the area. Header on by Hoken. That's a poor clearance. Phil Stamp. Oh, it's a goal! Hearts into the corner of the net. Phil Stamp. He scored against Livingston back in October, and he's done it again. Phil Stamp from 25 yards along the ground into the corner of the net. Hearts 1-0 up.
The race was now on for a place in Europe. Contenders Kilmarnock had scored 6 against Hibs, threatening Hearts' bid. The match against Dundee United was entering the last 20 minutes with Hearts trailing 1-0, but the fans had been there before and knew the Gorgie team would pull through.
Valwa, right-hand side, up against Stuart Duff. Lays it off. Chance for Neil Janchik, edge of the box. In it goes, left by De Vries. It's Andy Webster! Onto the net! Webster's first goal at Tynecastle. McCann with a through ball. Layoff from De Vries to Boyack. On his right foot. Good ball to Robbie Nielsen, right-hand side. Chipped ball into the area. Nodded down by De Vries. Poor one from Duff into the net! Andy Kirk!
Every club claims that their young players are the future, but at Tynecastle it's actually happening. One of the best examples of that is Hearts and Scotland star Andy Webster, who scored his first goal of the season against United.
When I first came in, being a young boy from Arbroath in the second division, coming to Hearts team that's full of international superstars and people who have played for even playing for Hearts, it's a massive change for me. And I think at first it was a bit daunting because the only time I'd really seen these people was on telly, and when you see people on telly you're kind of a little bit starstruck. So I think I found it a little bit difficult to start with, but Andy will tell you we're just ordinary people doing a hobby that we love. obviously, like, I love my time at Arbroath, but Hearts is a massive club, and I didn't appreciate how big Hearts was until I arrived there. And I don't know whether you're playing at home the weekends or going to club functions and stuff like that. You don't actually realise how big the support is for Hearts.
The fans obviously appreciate Andy's commitment to Hearts and hold him in high esteem, always requesting signatures and personal appearances at supporters' functions. But when the 21-year-old gets into the dressing room, especially when followed by a camera crew, it's abuse as usual.
Oh, baby! Oh, nice! Oh! Oh! Big smile! Pretty boy. Nice looking. Oh, come on!
I think Elvis, he took me under his wing. He picked me up for training in the mornings from the hotel and made sure I had everything, which was a massive help to me, just to feel part of the team, basically.
Young Andy's come on leaps and bounds this season. Since the turn of the year, he's done exceptionally well for the side. He's a young lad. He's desperately want to learn, and I believe he can go on and be a top-class defender.
And that's a brilliant clearance off the line from Andy Webster to deny Rangers the opening goal.
I would doubt he's got a lot of potential as a movie star. You've probably seen that today. He could have made a comb his hair before he left the house, that's all I would say. But, you know, everything that has been written about Andy Webster and everything that's been said about Andy Webster is a credit to the player and to the man himself. And, you know, everybody can look in from the outside and ask me, what have you done to improve him as a player? Well, we show a lot of belief in our players and try and instruct them in the right direction. But 95% of the improvement comes about from within. And the lad has done remarkably well so far, and I have no doubts that he'll continue to improve.
Grote's cross, no challenge on Webster as he played the ball away. De Vries hands possession back to Dare. Stevie Crawford with a chance. What an important challenge from Andy Webster. Got just enough in there.
Andy's worth and ability were recognised by Hearts in June when he signed a contract to stay at Tynecastle until 2007.
To come from a second division team to play for a massive club like Hearts is something you dream of as a young boy. I always dreamed of playing for a big club, and Hearts is a massive club. And to come here and play is a privilege, and I love playing for Hearts, especially at home at Tynecastle. I think it's a great atmosphere and the fans are superb.
That was proven when Celtic came to Tynecastle in April. Since taking over at Hearts, Craig Levein had never beaten the Old Firm. But with Hearts' steadfast determination to win, all that was about to change.
Jean-Louis Valois delivers. Ball late. Strong header away. Mabry laid it back into the box. Won by De Vries. Petrov for the clearance. That's good vision by Phil Stamp. Not the best control by Valois. Only more reliable. He's still dangerous in this position. Brilliant by Jean-Louis Valois. Plays it through. Weir is very quick indeed. He'll try and take on Bobo Baldy. He felt he was being challenged unfairly. Phil Stamp has to be careful. Mark De Vries wants the challenge. Now Weir gets away from Baldy, flicks it into De Vries, takes a turn, Mark De Vries with a chance! Allen plays it forward, Larsson goes to ground, referee says play on. Now De Vries comes forward, Webster's continued his run, the angle ball, Phil Stamp with a chance! Comes over, breaks, Mabry with a volley! Top class save from Robert Douglas. Now needing a gap coming forward. Stumble, still in the box, plays it across, Larsson! Webster's up, Stamps up. Presley plays the ball into the box. Breaks to the back post, ball came across! And Phil Stamp equalises for Hearts. 72 minutes gone, and Hearts are level. championship race and for Hearts' quest for Europe. Ball came across, knocked over, and Phil Stamp reacted. Robert Douglas, and absolutely no chance. Knocked across by Scott Severin. And it's Hearts 1, Celtic 1. Long one forward. Weir has it for Hearts. The ball dropped to the back post, and Fowler hits the crossbar. Alan Thompson poised, plays the ball in. It's all maroon jerseys there. Lennon brings it down. Jamie Smith tries to deliver. Hearts again clear. The Albi coming up. And there's a chance here for Hearts. Scott Severin has Stamp outside in one way. He's got Austin McCann the other. Austin McCann! His first goal for Hearts. It's stoppage time, sent Celtic to defeat at Tynecastle. Celtic had to push forward. They wanted all 3 points. But they're not even going to get one. Scott Severin and a man either side, and Austin McCann. Well, how's that for a finish? And how much damage have Hearts and Austin McCann done to Celtic's championship challenge? It's now with their own hands, and Hearts are heading, they hope, to Europe. Hearts and Craig Levein celebrate their first win over Celtic since April 2000.
Brilliant for me. I said to one of my pals the Thursday before it, so I'm going to score the winner here in the last minute. And I laughed it off myself because I couldn't imagine I'd do it, but as you say, it happens once every now and again, so hopefully it won't take too long before it happens again.
Oh, he definitely meant it, aye. It was a great strike. I remember I was running up behind Scott Severin when he played him the ball, and at that stage I thought Austin was going to take a touch and cross it. I was going to try and get in the box, and he just had it first time. And from it left his foot, it was always in. It was a great goal, especially in the last minute.
To be fair to Ozzy, Ozzy does that in training regular, but the nerves and the tension of the game, credit to Austin McCann for keeping his bottle as such. When you're standing in the dugout, it was right in from the minute it left his foot. It was an incredible experience and an incredible feeling.
Celtic are a very good side, a very physical side, and they like to bully teams, but we definitely stood up to a physical challenge. And I've been saying for some time that we've been getting closer and closer to the Old Firm, but it was time to get rid of the hard luck stories and finally get a result. And on the day, I thought we thoroughly deserved the result.
These teams aren't invincible. Now I do believe that our players think they can win. All credit to them, they've embraced it, and the performances this year, especially the latter end of this year against the Old Firm teams, have been a hell of a lot better than they've been previously.
Now it was only arithmetic that separated Hearts from their rightful place in Europe.
Presley from 12 yards. Makes no mistake, Hearts go 1-0 up at East End Park. And the European dream is very much alive.
Robbie Nielsen, but Stamp is hobbling around. And it looks unlikely at the moment that he's got any chance of completing the game. Nielsen backheels it for Boyack. That's from McKenna. Kevin McKenna gets another chance onto his left foot. Good save by Broto. And grabs the rebound as well. 7 minutes gone. Thompson fires it straight into the wall. Second chance. Chris Sutton down, and it's a penalty for Celtic. Mike McCarthy had a think about it. There didn't seem to be an awful lot of contact. Celtic not in the comfort zone they were hoping for when they took that first half lead, and it's all getting a bit untidy from them. Valois' cross. Broto was stretching. Now Boyack. Nielsen. Stephen Simmons with a good turn and a good chance. Severin. Great strike and touched over the top. Good cut out from Maybury. Now Valois. Hearts growing in confidence. Mauricio heads across away, only as far as Stephen Boyack. That's a great strike from Boyack, not too far away. Weir holds it up and fires it wide for Valois. This could be interesting. Mark De Vries, great touch. Got the break of the ball, De Vries. Wonderful save by Stefan Klos. So close. Boyack, McFarlane, Nielsen, good passing from Hearts. Now De Vries. Going all the way, Mark De Vries. Powerful shot. Stefan Klos solidly behind it. It's not going to be Barry Ferguson. Mikel Arteta's off. It's Shota Arveladze. What a save by Tapi Moronen. Simply stunning. And it denies Rangers the lead.
So the final game of the season. Mark De Vries looking for his 15th goal. Young Joe Hamill there making his first start of the season. Here's Graham Weir. Chance for Hearts to get the ball in. That's a decent one from Hamill. In goes De Vries, just goes wide. Great ball in from young Joe Hamill. And the Dutchman applauds the youngster for the delivery and puts it just wide. Nielsen for Hearts. Back to Scott Severin. Patient build-up. Good ball from Severin. Flick on by De Vries. Weir's onside. Good tackle by Dave Mackay. Dave Mackay appealing for offside. Hearts get the corner. Severin. Forward, here's Gary Wales over halfway. Can he set something up? The layoff for Alan Maybury. That's a good through ball. It's De Vries, right-hand side against Speroni. The cutback must be, oh, Wales has put it wide from 6 yards. What a chance for Hearts. The Jambos still trying to break the deadlock. Still 0-0 at Tynecastle. Here's Scott Severin. Crossfield ball, decent one as well. Chance for Austin McCann. Stefan Mahe overlapping down the left-hand side. Good ball from McCann. Mahe on his farewell appearance for Hearts. Gets round his man. Great ball in. De Vries. Ah, the opener. Wonderful setup from the man who's playing his last game at the club. Stefan Mahe. What a ball in and what a finish from Mark De Vries. Mahe got by his man on his left foot. What a way to say farewell. Cross in. De Vries with a header. Hearts go one up. Nielsen with a throw. Seconds left. There goes the final whistle, that's it secure. Hearts will be playing in the UEFA Cup next season.
Well done. Hey, save it. Brilliant, son. John Louis, well done. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. 5 on Rangers.
Fittingly, a well-deserved victory brought the season to an end. Hearts had again proved to be the dominant force in Scottish football outside the Old Firm. With the fans digging out their passports for next season, Craig Levein couldn't hide his satisfaction after such a great campaign.
Ecstatic, really. I feel that a little bit drained. I feel it's been a long, hard season with plenty of ups and 1 or 2 downs. But I really am thrilled, and not just for myself and the backroom staff, but especially for the players. Really, especially for the players, and of course for these great supporters here. And I was so pleased that they stayed behind to recognise the efforts that the players have put in this season.
They've been fantastic all season, you know, and I think we've repaid them with some terrific performance, and hopefully in the not too distant future we can repay the funds with some sort of silver.
Once again, Hearts had shown their determination to succeed. From the gloomy days pre-season, when it looked as if they'd be lucky to finish in the top 6, the men in maroon got on with the task of not only taking the club to 3rd in the league, but also into Europe. It looks as if things will get really interesting next season down Tynecastle Way.
side. Can Severin score him? He's on the left-hand side now. The through ball to Austin McCann. Austin McCann goes for the shot. Oh! Austin McCann! What a goal! And Austin McCann has put a stamp on a passport that takes Hearts into Europe. Gives a chance for Andy Kirk. He's through. It's into the net. Andy Kirk opens the scoring in Tynecastle. Valois, still Valois. What can he do now? Chips it forward. It's onside against De Vries. It's a shot. What a goal! Hearts got 2-0 up. Mark De Vries on his home debut. Here's a chance for Valois inside the area. Goes for the shot. It's blocked. De Vries 3-1. Mark De Vries in a double. It's McMullen down the left. He's got Severin through the middle, and he's got a great pass. He spots Mark De Vries. Good touch. A good turn. De Vries. Hat-trick! Mark De Vries. A hat-trick on his derby debut. Gary Wales into the area. De Vries. No, surely not. De Vries into the area. Stops it down. 4 goals for Mark De Vries. This is incredible. 3 waiting in the middle. Can Janček put a decent ball in? It's a deep one. Up goes McKenna. Hit it back across. Goal into the net. Kevin McKenna with the equaliser for Hearts. Janček plays it across to Phil Stamp. Stamp into the area. Janček. Stamp through. Chance. Shot. Goal. Phil Stamp. Unbelievable scenes in the Edinburgh Derby. Phil Stamp has scored in the last minute. I have never seen scenes like this in my life. Here we go, 12 yards. Presley runs up, scores into the middle of the net. 2-1. Game on at Tynecastle. Valois to Andy Kirk. Through ball to Mark De Vries. A chance for Hearts. De Vries. Round the keeper. And into the net. Mark De Vries. 2-2. Amonadi tries to clear. In goes Weir. He scores. 4-3. Whoa, wait a minute here. Wait a minute, we've got a minute left. Vries inside the penalty area. De Vries at the goal line, goes to ground, the cross in. Weir! Yeah! 4-4! This is unbelievable! Graham Weir has scored in 4-0 in the Edinburgh Derby! This is unbelievable!